BMW M. They're going to make electric cars feel like they're powered by super powerful 1,000 horsepower engines. Yes, combustion engines, that is. Can you imagine that? Now, BMW may have solved the problem of electric performance cars. You know, a lot of them feel dull to drive. It doesn't have the same visceral feel of an internal combustion engine. But now, BMW has did something different. Now, the United States Patent and Trademark Office discovered that BMW proposed a system that will let drivers tailor various drivetrain properties, including throttle mapping, torque delivery, going so far as allowing you to customize your car acceleration curve. Imagine that. Now, the new system goes beyond just predetermining driving modes. Where sport mode sharpen the throttle mapping by, say, 30%, while eco mode dulls responses. Instead, save electricity, you would say. Now, BMW envisions a graph where they create custom torque curves and throttle maps that correlate to your speed, which at each point can be tailored as you would like the system to be. And you can use what they call audio equalizers to make that visceral sound. Now, because electric motors don't rely upon momentum in the same way like combustion engines, they can be modulated by software, you could say. Creating variable conditions, BMW thinks that the concept of predetermined driving modes is going to bring context to EV. It makes a lot of sense. I can see Porsche going in this direction too, even more in some of the concepts that I've seen in the past. Now, the basic principle of design hinges around the graph curves, the speed curve, acceleration curve, that relate to the throttle and gas pedal position. And the speed curve of the vehicle speed is directly correlated to the position of the throttle, which is just straight up awesome. Now, as EVs rely on single speed direct drive transmissions, you can set speed based on the position of the gas pedal. Now, the one thing I was thinking of right now, Porsche is a little different. I think they have like 2 speeds, which is something different. But BMWs, you know, they're going to do this differently, and I guess they're going to be using something like a joystick. Now, so as the 10% throttle use, say 20 miles per hour, and then you got the 50%, and you can say that works at 80 miles per hour. Using a throttle curve. The acceleration curve is much more like the standard throttle map were used in throttle inputs, which correlates to the torque that's applied, say at 80%, of course, 80% acceleration building speed continuously rather than capping speed based on the throttle position, which is something different. Now, the curves can be tailored to independently through inputs on a touchscreen where you can drag certain points of these graphs up or down. And you can choose to limit the top speed to using the speed curve as well. And you can also set the throttle to the various twitchy low inputs and stable at high inputs. It just depends upon how you do it. This is something super, super technical, you could imagine. But as we get used to EVs, I guess this is going to get easier and easier in language. But I tell you, BMW, they've got some great designs and some great concepts for electric vehicles. Compounding the technology and the computer systems, they're going to be able to read how long your throttle inputs have been in a steady state and adjust the acceleration curve. Now, if you've been traveling, say, at 60 miles per hour on a road trip on one of the main highways, and your throttle is at 60%, and likely traveling on freeways, and the computer's going to be able to look at that and base that, acceleration curve on what you have set to make it smooth and smooth out the drive as well. But this gives you full control of the automobile and how the car responds to your inputs. It's almost like a hair trigger throttle. If that's what you want, you can have that too. Just tap it and takes off. It just depends on whatever you decide, which is somewhat different. Now, the sounds of the car is going to be a little different, again, upon the maps and the auditory inputs to help you drive the car using your senses and making it more of an emotional, visceral experience. which is something else like the same thing that you get out of internal combustion engines. Now, where there are multiple benefits of the system, BMW envisions that it's going to be used for enthusiastic driving. You can you can invent the whole spectrum of possible acceleration curves on what you want. You can tailor your driving experience to provide excitement through building torque rather than off and on. Most EVs manufacturers use instead of the linear acceleration, which is fun. You can set it up on how you want it to use. You can have your EV behaving like an internal combustion engine powered vehicle. You can choose the graph to mimic natural aspiration, turbocharging, or supercharging. I tell you, man, this is going to be some kind of experience. The direct acceleration between speed and throttle position is also helpful when driving on the track. You can imagine that. That's going to be something else. And by combining the sport methodology with the EV-related patents like the active differential for electric cars, electric M cars, that is, BMW is going to make driving an EV involving and adding layers of interaction, which is going to be something. I mean, they're on the way to trying to do something that's totally different, something that you can't get from a combustion engine. What they're doing is making this more of an emotional vehicle. I mean, having it feel like you're driving a 1300 horsepower BMW M3, which is going to be something amazing and visceral at that. It's going to be something profound. And you can imagine the safety benefits with something like this. In addition to enjoyable benefits for you to enjoy your vehicle, you can set limits at top speed when your child's driving, or you have a friend driving. You don't want him doing certain things. You can set the curves and limits. You imagine that, and whatever about the price, you imagine they're saying about $30,000. I can't imagine a BMW costing $30,000. I'm sorry, not even in the internal combustion engines is a BMW costs $30,000. I mean, most of them on the showroom floor is a lot more than 30. You're not gonna find that. I haven't seen that. So this is something different. And combustion and then not only that, but a nice electric car is gonna cost you about $60,000. That's just base. It's just the way it is. But so, what's BMW gonna do? It sounds like something that's, this is going to be something to be seen, folks. Something to be seen. You can program so many different curves. You can program the map to the throttle map and the position to how you like it and how you feel. You can imagine them being M1, M2, depending upon how you feel. M3, you choose the programming that you want to choose and that you set up. Something else to make the car more personable, which is just straight up amazing, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, share, and subscribe, and have a fantastic day.